Come on, man. Yep, we're doing the max speeding rods, coils for the cord. Just about everybody else, I think, is used a set of these on a car that they just need to run, or just to try them out. They're cheap, 200 bucks. I mean, I've never used them personally, so I don't know what to expect. I'm guessing it will run better than the ones that are on there because they're probably original and they're blown. The plan is to max these out as low as they'll go and kind of drag this thing's ass all over town once it's all said and done. That's kind of the goal for this thing. So we'll get these things unboxed, taken out, we'll get the car in stands and get it ready for the transplant. In some cases, these are cheaper than any other replacement struts you can find. I'm kind of impressed on how these things are. I mean, for the price anyway. The finish feels good. The welds look pretty good. I mean, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, you know what I mean? So, but time will tell. Alright, so we're about 2 minutes in and I already came across our first issue, which is kind of expected, honestly. These little, these two bolts that hold the brake line onto the strut housing here. But we're gonna let those soak for a bit. But as I was in here, there's a couple things I wanted to show you guys. I mean, look at this. How good does that look? I don't know if you can see. Old versus the new. You can tell that the body on the max speeding rod coils is a lot shorter. Look at the crust. I guess it doesn't look like they were leaking or anything, but whatever. You know, do you really need an excuse to buy cheap Chinese coils and slam your haunch to the ground? It's time to adjust preload. This is how I like to do it. Just a quick little way to get it going. It's not perfect, but this is what you do, okay? Make sure that your spring is loose in there. A little bit of gap, you see that? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna tighten up the spring, the lower perch, just by hand until that slop is gone. So, see now if I try to wiggle it back and forth, it's not moving at all. Now what we're going to do is we're going to spin this locking collar up to the bottom of this other lower perch. It doesn't have to be tight, just so it's making contact. And that'll be our reference point. Grab one of these guys. What we're going to do is we're going to rotate the perch that the spring actually sits on. We're going to rotate it into the spring to put even more tension on it while leaving that other locking perch in place. And it will essentially, as you do it, it will make a gap. And the goal here is to get just enough gap right here. So all I did, you see the gap right there, all I did was rotate this up from snug to enough where my spanner wrench can fit in between the gap that was created, because this hasn't moved. And then all we'll do now is, now that this is considered loaded, we'll just lock this up in place. against the lower perch. Like that. See, no more gap. It's all together. This has a tension on it. It's not floppy like it was a minute ago. And that's it. Alright guys, here's a quick update. Scenery's changed a bit. Car's inside now for a good reason. Because whoever said I was going to break bolts, yep, you're right. So after I got the front coils installed, I went ahead and started trying to get the rears done. And the first bolt I touched just completely snapped off. And of course it's spinning in the bushing, and I was looking at all these other bolts I'm going to have to work with. Everything under here is just really rusty. If I'm going to be fighting bushings and busted bolts, why don't we just get some new stuff? So here we go. We got all of this in the mail, and this should be everything we need to not worry about fighting rusty old crap brake lines. I mentioned that before. We got some front rotors, some slotted and drilled eBay specials. I've never actually used these. I've heard bad things about them, like they can crack and stuff. But we'll keep an eye on them. I don't know. With this car, I kind of just want to give stuff a try, see how stuff works. I got some ceramic pads for the front. We got some rear 5-lug rotors, and then we got the rear pads with them as well. Hardware, lube. We got a Megan Racing, bling bling bar, or I think they call it a tie bar. We have some adjustable camber arms. These are not anything nice. These are cheap eBay specials, but they were $70 less than the Megan Racing ones. So I decided to try them. I guess if the ball joints fail and they break on the road and I die, well, I guess that's how it will go. We got the Megan Racing toe adjustment. It gives you more adjustment for the rear toe. I got those, and I got some, obviously, I got these. These are the shock mount bushings for the rear knuckles. This right here is kind of what started this whole process of me buying parts. The bolt snapped off in here, and you had to cut them out. So you got to replace these, and to do that, you kind of got to take the knuckle off. And then I was like, well, if I'm taking it all apart, everything's gonna break. So these two bushings I have in here that cost $20 kind of spiraled into all of this, just because I've done it before fighting rusty stuff. We also got front sway bar end link, and these are the Prelude rear hub assemblies that we're going to be running to do the 5-lug swap. There is some more parts that we have to get to finish the 5-lug. We can't just throw those on. We have to do some mixing and matching stuff, and I'll explain that more once I get into that. Got the control arms. Some very fancy eBay control arms that kind of look like pretty porous from the casting, but I don't know, they were pretty cheap and they had new bushings in them already and stuff. I mean, again, I guess if it breaks and I die, then you guys will know not to do it. But alright guys, I figured I'd cut you on real quick just to show you kind of why I'm happy I bought these toe arms. They are these guys here. And you see there's there's a through bolt here, and he spins around, and this is where the toe for your car is adjusted to the rear. I don't know if you'll be able to see it there, right there, that bolt right there. So it has it's slotted, and it's oblong. I think they're called eccentric bolts, and you spin those and it'll kind of push the toe arm out or in, kind of adjust your toe. Well, thank God I got those adjustable Megan toe arms, because that here, I'll show you again, because that bolt is freaking seized into that bushing, which is kind of classic on Hondas, honestly. I did find a couple used bolts, but they're like 30 bucks for some rusty used stuff. And the only new bolt I found, there was only one of them, and it was coming out of like the Middle East. So with the way shipping's going right now, I would probably not get that for months. I guess I'll bite the bullet and maybe go to Honda and see how much they want to charge me for some bolts. They're probably like, you know, good, I don't know, they were 30 bucks used, so maybe 40 new. But so far, that's the only issue I ran into. I'll take out the other side as far as rusty bolts go, other than the shock mount bolts, but I already cut those out. So the left side is almost done. In case anybody was wondering, this is how you work on a car from the Midwest. Step 1. Step 2. Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid to just get it everywhere in there. Yeah, just like that. Yep. Not done yet. Oh. Missed a spot. Oh, right there. There we go. Yeah. Moment of truth. Everything should be free. I have to wrestle this thing off, but everything's disconnected. The only thing I haven't got to do yet is cut off the toe arm here, but I'll get to that. Just wanted to get this knuckle off. All right, knuckle is out. This will be its new home for a little while. We're going to tear it down just like we did this one. Get these pieces all sandblasted. We're going to coat them with some 415. Put some new bushings in. You know, make this thing nice. You know, remember how this video started out as a coilover install? Well, this is what happens when you work on rusty-ass old cars. It quickly turns into a entire rebuild.
Got him! Got him!
That'll be it for this one. In the next video, we're going to start tearing into these knuckles, and then we can finish the 5-lug swap, get to reinstalling all the rear end parts, the brake lines, and then it should be able to drive.